All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Space Coast Industry Leaders. Today I have Crystal Canina in the studio. We're going to talk about all kinds of real estate. Crystal has been in the industry for 20 years and has...
Almost, just about. Yep.
Yeah, next year, right? We're almost there. So about 20 years and sold over $100 million worth of real estate. It's pretty impressive.
Thanks.
That's a little bit of sales there, a little bit of time in the game.
Definitely. I have a few more wrinkles from it, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it for sure. First of all, how are you? Thank you for coming on.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. What do you think about this market right now? What's going on in your world in real estate?
I think in the beginning of the new year, we're going to see a switch come back on. I think that rates are expected to come back down.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been spoken on. That's going to create that buyer interest is going to come right back.
I think it is too.
And we have such limited inventory. So what does that mean? Economics, supply and demand.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be good in our market here in Melbourne. We have a lot of people still moving here every day.
Yeah, I know. It is pretty wild. But I think January, it is going to switch. It's going to be crazy. I wanted to ask you kind of a fun question.
Okay.
You know, you've been doing this for 20 years. Do you remember your first listing?
My first listing?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I do.
Okay, tell me about it.
I was scared. I was so scared.
Yeah.
I started working at an office that had like two brokerages in one. So one company that I worked for, we did resales and we did buyers that were like resale buyers and listings.
Okay.
And the other company was strictly selling new construction. The agents at the company only could sell new construction. So they had a referral agreement with our company. So one day I'm working, I'm 21 years old. I'm out of college driving my green Honda Civic, stick shift.
I like the visual.
And I got a referral. And so I looked at it and I saw it was in this community in Tampa Palms called Heritage Isle. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one. So I get there and the owner was just super easygoing. I was so surprised and so grateful because it was such a great experience.
Yeah.
It was a decorated furnished model home on the golf course, pool spa, and at that time, it was $634,000.
Wow, that's a big one for a first listing, especially then.
Yeah, exactly. So I was, nervous, but I went in there and did my thing, and I sold it very quickly.
Very cool.
So that's when I got my first taste of how this business works, and I just kept going from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you have any listings that you remember that were oh man, a couple of rough ones over the years?
Not in particular, because I would say I haven't had too many houses that were super challenging with inspections and things like that. I would say more so dealing with the humans in the deal could be the hard part sometimes.
There's emotions attached.
Super high emotions are involved on your home you live in with your family and the transition period and going from one home to the next. But it's also such a beautiful place to be involved because you're in such an intimate time with them and their transition,
That's a big
deal.
deal.
At the end, usually it's all hugs.
Yeah. Just get to that closing table. Absolutely. Did you grow up here?
No. I was
okay.
kind of a military kid, actually. I was born in Connecticut, lived there for 7 years, and then I was in California, San Diego, for another 5 or 6 years. And we ended up back in Connecticut, college in Jacksonville University.
Okay.
And then at that time, my family left Connecticut, and they moved to Tampa Bay. So I went to Tampa right out of college. I was there till 2010, and then ended up over here about 2012.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So you went to college, and did you graduate there, or did you jump right into real estate during college, or you graduated and then you jumped in?
Actually, I studied international business and I minored in Spanish.
Okay.
I went there because I played soccer, Division I, so it kind of had all the check boxes for me.
Yeah.
And then when I finished school, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I was asked if I wanted to be a lawyer or if I wanted to be a financial advisor, and at that time, my mother had just gotten her real estate license, and it was 2004.
Okay.
Market was fire.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if I'm going to work for myself, I have the least amount of responsibility in my life right now. I'm going to give it a go.
Makes sense.
So I just went in and I started out working in the business. And
did you work with your mom?
No. At first, we were at the same company, but then I kind of found my way through to that one company I was just mentioning.
Yeah.
And my first year, I sold $4 million.
That's great.
So, I mean, I was happy.
Yeah, of course, especially
Yeah.
21 years old, 20 years ago, like you're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a good first year.
then the market changed a few years later.
Yeah, of course. And we had the crash then.
Yeah.
That kind of leads me into, so you started in 2004, you said.
Mm-hmm.
You went through the crash. Did you stay in real estate throughout the whole period?
Absolutely, yeah. I represented banks in bank-owned transactions, foreclosures. I had a title company I partnered with on like my short sale deals, where I did tons of short sale deals.
Yeah.
One of the most complicated ones was in this waterfront community in Tampa Bay, and the owner had been doing closings for builders, and it was just killing it.
Yeah.
Had bought this house, and then the market tanked, and so he was basically backwards on the house. So I ended up, it took 6 months from getting the contract to closing it, and it was short saled with like a $400,000 short sale and $150,000 IRS lien against it. So it was originally like 1.1, and it sold for 630.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that really is.
I learned a lot.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I feel like that you had to be creative then in order to like stay in the business. So many people got out of it during that time. So doing the short sales, it's kind of how you had to continue, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you were representing a buyer, 3 out of 5 listings would have been short. You know, so you just had to learn how to do it and learn what to ask, and you know, documentation, how the bank's procedures would work behind the scenes. They're all different.
I'm
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
So
Do you think that that helped you in the last few years? Like, I know we've had not a bad market, but it's just been a wild market. Like, there's been so many different, I feel like it's just changed rapidly. Like, do you think what you dealt with back then was helpful for, you know, today's conditions?
I think so, because you have to be resilient in this market, and you kind of have to like forecast what's ahead and be ready for it.
Yeah.
Because I was in that market that was like our COVID market, kind of, you
Yeah.
know, in 2004, 2006, like that was wild.
Right.
And then everything was changing so quickly, which fortunately our market's still pretty solid here, but you know, listing volumes have gone down. Sellers expecting to sell their house in 3 days full price or over ask, and it's just not the same market.
Right.
So
everybody's used to 2021.
exactly.
Like, look how crazy it was.
Yeah. So I think I developed through my career a sense of like thick skin for one, and just like a lower expectation level on things sometimes. Like just go with it and make it work. You know, you might have to turn your sail left a little bit, but in the end, we want to get to that finish line.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So 2021 was crazy, and we were just talking about inventories kind of dropped this year. How have you pivoted to adjust for that?
Yeah, I mean, what do we rely on? Commissions, right?
Right.
So if there's not enough inventory, got to be creative. So I started a couple years ago getting into investing and flipping, and I'm doing 2 right now,
Okay.
beachside. So creating my own listings and growth into design and construction, and all of that has been something I've really just kind of went into naturally almost.
Yeah.
But as a result, it's also been a supplementation to my business.
Right. That makes sense. You're enjoying the flips?
I am. I mean,
Yeah.
it's for me, I'm learning so much that it's such a fun part of my career. It's a little stressful because sometimes, you know, I don't like to make mistakes.
Of course.
But of course, not everything's perfect every time. So
Yeah. Are you looking for like a specific kind of house when you're looking for a flip?
I look for the right margin and the equity. Being that I have the market knowledge, because I'm in the market every single day, I can look at a house and say, okay, if someone sends me a deal, I can look at it pretty quickly and tell whether it's worth a second look. And then when I get in there and I can do like an ARV, you know, what the aftermarket value is going to be, and see that potential.
Right. And you just have to calculate, okay,
exactly.
what is it gonna take to make this look right?
And so like for my clients too, if I don't have enough time or I'm invested in something else, I can refer deals to my other clients that may be wanting something like what I'm doing, which I've actually kind of started doing as well.
I feel like it makes a lot of sense where you are in this like investing journey where you can take that knowledge from your firsthand experience and help these investors.
And also like some of my clients that are thinking of selling, they need to do some updating. So I just finished up renovating, not myself with my hands, but I designed a whole new fireplace area for my client, and I had it built out. I checked in on the project, make sure it was going good, and we're going to get ready to list soon.
Very cool. You did a couple flips last year?
I did.
You have one that was like particularly a fun one?
I did one in Malabar, and that one for me was like one of my bigger growth steps because it was a demolition of like an entire bathroom and like the whole kitchen area.
Yeah.
Reformatting it, designing that, and
Changing the floor plan around.
and getting it back together. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
So
how long did that take?
I think it took from purchase to close about 4 months. I closed, like December 30 last year on that one.
Not
so
bad.
It was on the market. That was right when the interest rates went up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and needless to say, it didn't get an offer within the first 2 weeks, and I'm like scratching
You're
my
like,
head.
oh no.
I mean, it's gorgeous. What's wrong?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I got an offer within a couple of weeks, and it worked out full price. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was looking through your Instagram page, and first of all, you're doing a lot of videos, which good for you. That's
Trying.
Yeah, you're doing good. And I saw you put on quite a few different posts. You said growth mode on it.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned growth in here a couple times. What does that mean to you?
Self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Just conquering fears and moving forward.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to take some risk.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think it's especially this year, growth is just important. It's like, how can we be thinking outside of the box and pushing forward? So what has you excited for 2024?
I would say, well, first of all, personally, all my family has relocated here. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
super excited about that. That's like the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited about getting them all like set up here. And my parents are looking for a home right now. And
Yeah.
close enough that my son could ride his bike. So I'm excited.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Beyond family, I would say just continuing to develop in both my general real estate career and expanding what I'm doing in a better way. And then also I'm beginning to take some education in a little bit higher level design stuff.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Pushing myself a little bit there to see what I can do.
Yeah. Do you think that's something that you're just are you going to learn that for your own like flipping benefit, or do you have like a extended goal beyond that?
For now, it's just generally for me, for my growth and the business I'm expanding into, and then continuing on with that, however it may happen. I did my client's fireplace, and they trusted me with that.
Right.
It's $1 million house, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So, here and there, I might need to do it, use it in other ways, but for now, it's more so for the projects that I'm involved with.
Nice. Well, Crystal, that's all I have for you.
Okay.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Anything you want to like leave the people? Any tips or any just like follow me on Instagram or anything like that?
I mean, absolutely. I'm one of my goals this year is to grow my social more followers and people that are in seeing what I do, and I'm hoping to do a lot more video content and things this year about not just real estate and selling homes and the homes I'm in, but also the design and rehabbing, and like my Airbnb property in the art district, things like that. So
yeah, that's fun. Did you redo the property there?
I did. I bought that in July.
Okay.
And it took about 2.5 months. I designed it in collaboration with Brian Ellison Designs, and it's this really cool property. We named it Noi Nest. My husband's from Italy, so Noi means ours, our nest. And each room has a different name of a bird. So we have like the flamingo room, the peacock room.
That's fun.
Black swan, white swan, grand crane, and the white dove suite.
Is this your first Airbnb?
No, but this is my first like larger one.
Yeah.
It's one block from
and everything.
Yep, it's one block from Pineapple's restaurant, basically, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
And it's a 1915 historic designated home.
What was that like, trying to renovate some of that with the historical?
Well, we didn't really do a lot on the outside, so that was fine. Anything outside you have to get approved if you're changing paint colors or things like that. So we did a lot of landscaping and other things out there. Inside, it was more or less a lot of painting, replacing flooring. Of course, like they have the original hardwood in one of the units, and I really loved it, but it would have taken like forever.
A little bit of sanding.
To get it back. So we just covered it with some vinyl plank. It looks beautiful. But just, furnishing all the rooms and the paint colors. We have a fun selfie wall with like 3 big colorful stripes on it and mirrors. Fun. So it was exciting. It was fun.
Yeah, that's super cool. Do you think it's a good market for buyers this year coming up?
It's always a good time to buy.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're buying, you know, the neighborhood and the values in there as well. I think that in our market, Melbourne area, especially like in Vieira and Beachside, I think we're going to see growth in appreciation as well this year coming up with the rates coming down. I do. Unless for some reason, all of these sellers with 3% interest rates decide to throw their houses on the market.
Yeah.
I don't think inventory levels are going to go up extremely. So that's going to create that demand. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So where can people follow you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook mainly.
Crystal Canina.
That's me.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. And guys, that's going to be it for this one. If you want to subscribe down below, follow us, and we'll see you in the next one.